Hi Stampers, it's Christy with Stampin' Texas. Well, it's never too early to get a jump on your Christmas cards, and I have just gone a little bit crazy with this work of art stamp set. I am just making tons of cards, and I was so excited with how this Christmas tree turned out. So I wanted to show that to you today. Also, I know it's kind of hard maybe to see on the camera, but I just wanted to point out all the little sparkly red on there. That's with the dazzling details. And I'm going to show you how to put everything together. So let's get started making a Christmas card. The white piece that I'm using is just Whisper White, and I've cut it to 3 3/4 by 5, so that leaves a nice border. The red cardstock base is 11 inches by 4 1/4. I scored it at 5 1/2. And let me show you the work of art stamp set. This stamp set is so versatile. It has so many different neat images, and we're going to be using the majority of them for this card. So I've got my old olive ink pad, and we're going to start with this little swoosh here. And just ink that up, and we're actually going to do 2 of those. So I just kind of look towards the bottom of my card where I want that to go. And the nice thing is it doesn't have to be exact at all. With the way this Christmas card looks, nothing has to be exact. Now this is the next shape I use, and when I stamp it, I'm actually going to stamp it with that little opening. I'm going to come inside just a little bit, and we're going to stamp 2 of those. So I'm going to overlap and kind of angle it up like that. Let's do another one. And see how I moved in just a smidge. And then now we're going to need this little guy. And I'm going to come in a smidge again and kind of angle up. Just like that. Now, that actually looks pretty good so far, just like that. You could almost put the star on it if you like that. The only other thing I did is I had a little extra piece of rubber, so I actually cut it from another stamp set that I had, just to make a little rectangle piece, kind of to make more of a defined top, like that. All right, so that is the base of the tree, the basics for that. Now we're going to use another image, this long one, and that is going to be our, not a stem, our trunk. There we go. Lost the word for a minute there. So here's I use a little scratch paper because I'm going to lay that down like this, and I'm going to stamp. So let's just ink up part of that. So I just laid that on top. Go like that. So then it just masks that off. And I stamped that with soft suede. Alright, now let's do the little red speckledies. I used the Gorgeous Grunge stamp set, and you'll notice how large this stamp is that does these speckles. I love doing this as a background, but the only deal is I didn't need that many speckles. So let me show you what I did. You actually don't even need to put that on a clear acrylic block. I'll show you how I inked it up and stamped it using real red. I honestly used it just like this. I tapped the tip of it in my real red, and then I just stamped it. And I did a couple stamps, so not every red is as vibrant. And that's all I needed. Isn't that funny? You don't even need a clear block or anything to go with that. So that's what we've got so far. The other things I did is I used the Stars framelit and some Daffodil Delight cardstock to cut out the smallest star. Now, if you're not sure how to use the framelits with the Big Shot die cutting machine, be sure to check out my video on how to use framelits. They are so easy, so quick, and really neat to use. So I cut that out. The only other couple things I did is I rounded the corners with the corner rounder punch. I did use a dimensional on the back of the star. And you know what? Let me show you real quick a quick tip. I wanted that star to kind of have a little more depth or dimension to it. So I've got my foam pad, and I know this seems like a really odd tool to use. It's just on the handle of a little screwdriver, but you just push that in there, and now you've got it where it's got a little bit more depth or dimension to it. And that just goes right on here. And the only other thing I added, I was going to show you the dazzling details, but I did add a rhinestone. I added some dimensionals behind the white to put it on the red cardstock base. The dazzling details, you'll notice the red has a large little splotch or blotch or whatever you want to call it. So I just went through on the large little circles there and just added some of that to give it some sparkle and some shine. But that's all there is to it. Isn't that fun? So quick, so simple. And then the inside of your card, you can put whatever message or greeting you'd like. And that's it. So for more fun project ideas with that work of art stamp set, be sure to visit my website. I have got all sorts of projects and cards there. And also be sure to like my Facebook page. Thanks so much.